From the wind and dangerous fire weather to hundreds of thousands of people who are without power right now. PG&E started turning the power off yesterday in the areas under the purple triangles. This map is in real time. As of right now, more than 360,000 PG&E customers are without power, which is about 1 million people. We have live team coverage for you this morning. Meteorologist Carly Gomez is in Rancho Cordova explaining how the wind could affect your morning commute. Kevin John is in Grass Valley, where PG&E has cut the power to prevent wildfires. But first, let's take it to Rob Carmark, tracking how bad the winds are going to be and when they might start to calm down. Rob?
All right, Walt. Well, I've got some good near-term news. And once the sun comes up, we will see for some of the windiest spots, it's going to come down a notch. But at the same time, we're going to be warming up. The air dries out, so there's still a fire risk all the way through until tomorrow morning. But at least some of the strongest winds, your 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the coastal range or 100-plus in the Sierra, that's going to start to calm down once we get to sunrise. But remember, we're right in the middle of this very serious red flag warning. You know, not all red flag warnings are the same. This is the top and highest warning level you're going to see from the National Weather Service because we started to see the wind move in yesterday. We're in the 70s, but we've cooled off a lot. We've got some strong winds at the moment. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts just region-wide for across the top of the Sierra, in pockets in the coastal range, and right down the heart of the valley. Lots of wind gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour. We've seen a wind gust Travis Air Force Base 45 miles per hour, folks, and that's at a really low elevation. You combine that with the cold temperatures this morning, and it is straight up chilly. We've got wind in our face, it's cold, and the air is very, very dry. So let's go ahead and take a look at the valley forecast here. We're going to see the temperatures come up to the 70s, so that'll be a change. But notice the wind doesn't really change all that much, and the air is only going to dry out more and more. A lot of people assume a fire risk has to do with heat. It doesn't. The biggest fire risk is when the air is dry, vegetation is dry, and it's windy. And that's exactly what we have today. This is going to last until, for some places, all the way until tomorrow afternoon. Carly, you've been monitoring each and every little hotspot that tries to break out, but firefighters, they're on each and every one of these so far.
Yeah, they have. Every single grass fire, any kind of fire call this morning, we have headed out and everything's been put out quickly. Very good news there. And you know what? Even better news right now is winds have slowed down just a bit here in Rancho Cordova. Just the last hour, the winds are really ripping through here. We're talking as much as about 30-mile-per-hour winds. Now a slowdown just a bit. But fire crews have been very busy with downed trees, traffic hazards, fires filling up log reports. And I spoke with the fire crew who's prepping for the day ahead after responding to a tree fire just here in this grass that you see behind me. After responding to that fire, they, were able to put that down quickly and they filled up their tanks. The strong winds continue. They say their biggest concern today is going to be setting up a command center in Rancho Murieta in case fires break out in that area. This morning, hurricane force winds being felt. St. Helena, 82-mile-per-hour winds. That's a Cat 1. Kirkwood, 136. That's a Cat 4. Now, these wind events are not new. This happens pretty much the same time every year. And last year, the Kincaid fire broke out in the Napa-Sonoma area, causing devastation. That was October 27. Today is October 26, if you can believe that. The year before that, it was the Camp Fire, November 8th. In 2017, the Wine Country fires broke out October 8th through 9th. So we are in prime fire season right now. We're in the midst of it. And today's biggest issue is going to be for firefighters trying to get a handle on anything that breaks out quickly. With the low humidity, the strong winds coupled together, it's going to be a tough 36 hours for fire crews, Walt.
Okay, Carly, thank you for all of that. And Rob, and here's another live look at that PG&E outage map. The purple triangles have no power right now. That's from the Bay Area to the Sierra foothills. But places like Nevada City and Grass Valley have done this many times before. That's where our Kevin John is, Grass Valley. Kevin, how are people feeling about these shutoffs? Again, you were out earlier and there wasn't any wind yet.
Yeah, well, there's actually still no wind right now. I would throw something up so you can see it actually right here. There you go. So you can see really no wind at all, but obviously later on, that could be a completely different story. The power shutoffs are a precautionary thing. But yes, where I'm standing at right now, Walt, there's no power at all where I'm at. This is right off Nevada City Highway. And as you can see behind me at this mobile gas station, power is completely off. And then if you look right up over here to the right, you'll see that these traffic lights are completely off as well. However, if you look on the other side of the street, it kind of tells a different story, as it is kind of patchy as far as which businesses are out and which ones do have power. Right across the street, the Arco AM/PM, as you can see, has power. I spoke to the attendant in there. He said he was one of the only businesses on this block that actually still have their power. Otherwise, other businesses are relying on generators to keep their power going. We had a chance to catch up with someone earlier who explains their frustration for this power shutoff. Take a listen.
I hate it, man. It's hard to get around with any power out around here, you know, and I just wish PG&E would shove it, you know. They think they can just do whatever they want, man. We're tired of it.
Now, he obviously makes his frustration quite vivid and explicit there. And Walt, keep in mind, people that live here in Nevada County, they have had to endure power shutoffs multiple times over the last year. So at this point, it's almost routine for them with this. But with that being said, you know, like we talked about earlier with the wind, they are anticipating wind out, because I am in one of those purple areas on that map that you showed. So we'll continue to see what happens out here, Walt. But in the meantime, people just doing what they can. We've seen people getting gas, supplies, food, and everything in order to make sure that they're equipped to handle this.
Yeah, good points all the way around. This could be another 24 hours or more for a lot of these people. Kevin, thank you. Some schools are closed today because of the shutoffs in Nevada and El Dorado counties. We have a full updated list on our website, abc10.com. And if you live in El Dorado County, several government buildings will be closed today because of the shutoffs, including parks, libraries, airports, and several health and human services buildings. To find out when power might be restored in your area, text the word power to 916-321-3310. We'll text you a link with everything you need to know. So that brings us to our question of the day. More than 1 million people could be affected by these planned outages. No power, some for days, all in the name of fire prevention. So we're asking you, do you agree with the widespread planned PG&E outages? Vote on our app or at abc10.com/vote. That conversation is going on our ABC10 Facebook page. So, Rob, we're at 6:08 here on Monday morning. Could this be till tomorrow morning, maybe, that some of these folks get their power back?
It could be. It could be even later than that. You know, one of these red flag warnings that's region-wide, including portions of the valley, goes till 5 p.m. tomorrow because it's going to be windy, dry, and there's still a fire risk. And I want to point out one thing, a clarification. You know, where Kevin John is near Nevada City, it may not be windy there, but where the power comes into Nevada City from some of the higher elevations, we're seeing wind gusts in that area 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. So there's a risk upstream that affects everybody downstream. And that's always that sort of disconnect that kind of throws people's understanding of how these power shutoffs kind of work.